What's up, guys? Welcome once again to the Save Continue podcast. My name is Ryan Robinson. That's Tom Shelby.
Hello.
That's Shanee Howard.
Hi.
Every week we get together and we talk about video games and shit for about an hour. Shanee, how's your week been? Hold on. How's your week been?
Went to my cousin's wedding. That was nice.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, cousin Shanee.
My dog got bit by another dog at the dog park yesterday.
Rest in peace.
Shanee's dog
here.
is with us today.
She's here, so if you see me looking off or going...
If there's some strange distractions this week, that's why.
If the camera falls
and that's
over,
okay.
That's why.
You deal with it.
Sure.
She's on some pretty heavy painkillers, so she's hallucinating right now.
Right on. Did you do anything this week besides go to your cousin's wedding and dog biting?
Nope.
That sucks.
Oh, actually, no. I introduced my nephew to Monster Factory.
Yeah. What does your nephew think of Monster Factory?
He thinks it's really funny. He likes it a lot.
Which game were they doing?
He was looking at the Spore ones.
Tell him what Monster Factory is for people who don't know.
If you haven't listened to other shows, Monster Factory is a YouTube series. It's on
By Polygon.
I was about to say it. By Polygon. And basically they try to create terrible monsters out of different games, character creators.
The Dragon's Dogma one was especially funny.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know who Randy Johnson is, but it made me laugh.
The wrestling one's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Tom, what'd you do this week? Know what this is like? This is like if we were in a room with like a velociraptor and we're like hoping that it doesn't attack us while we're doing our show.
I just don't want anything to get broken is all.
And I feel like that's what's gonna happen because she already knocked over the camera one time.
Yeah. A little bit of weird lighting. My week was good. What did I do? I purchased Dragon's Crown Pro for PS4.
Did you play it yet?
A little bit, not much, but I've already played Dragon's Crown to completion.
I've never played it before.
It's good stuff.
Yeah?
Sit.
Yeah.
What kind of game is it?
It's your favorite kind of a game.
What's that?
Well, it's a side-scrolling brawler with RPG elements.
I like that.
Very reminiscent
Of
some game you like.
Oh, what game is that?
I mean, yeah, I would throw it in the same genre as River City or Castle Crashers,
But there's like,
you know.
So is it? It seems okay.
It's much more complex than those, but yeah.
There's like magic and shit in it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's in Castle Crashers as well.
That's what I was gonna say. That it's probably closer to Castle Crashers than the.
But like, you know, there's more complex move sets. Difficulty is determined by what class you choose to play as.
Is each class distinct in its gameplay?
Yeah, each class is very distinct, and it'll tell you when you're picking a class. Like this class is for novice players.
Right.
This class is for experienced players.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is like, it kind of sucks because maybe you like see a class you really want to play as, but like you're not very good at games.
Yeah.
You know, but like that's the way they break it down.
Yeah. Who was your class?
I'm playing as the elf.
Is that a novice?
No, it's an expert player actually.
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 You remember when he said he played it to completion? Remember that?
What?
Novices can't do that. Okay.
Expert players like they've got like a fighter.
Yeah.
Right? Or like even they've got what do you call it? Like a dwarf. And those are like super melee heavy characters. The melee characters seem to be like for the
the babies.
Beginners, yeah.
What does the elf do? I imagine there's a lot of bows and
arrows. A lot of
everything.
archery, yeah.
But you've always liked that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like, so I know that it was on PS3 and Vita as well.
Mm-hmm.
And can you play with people on those platforms from your PS4?
Yeah, so what's funny is like last generation, PS3 and Vita at launch could not play together. Then they could. They were never cross-buy for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's one trophy list. Even with this new version, it's still the same trophy list.
Right.
But now, yeah, all three versions can play together.
That's really neat.
Also started up Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon.
I saw you playing it a little bit. How do you like it, Tom?
I like it a lot so far. It's Castlevania 3,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
only quite a bit easier.
Yeah.
but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When is Ritual of the Night coming out?
So it just got delayed till 2019.
Damn.
Yeah.
I know you're excited about that. Didn't I watch it? I could have sworn I watched you play a demo.
Yeah, so they released a demo. Fuck. I want to say it was for Paris Games Week, but I could be way off.
Yeah.
It could be like a TGS thing. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you did play a demo.
Yes.
Okay.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Curse of the Moon's fantastic. Hopefully Ritual of the Night will be as well.
So Curse of the Moon is it's like Castlevania 3, whereas Ritual of the Night is more like Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't play it.
They're in the names right, like Dracula's Curse,
Yeah.
Curse of the Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much is there Draculas in either of these games?
So I haven't finished this game yet, but the last character you get very much seems like he may be a Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got a very Alucard moveset.
Yeah.
So
Alucard's a Dracula.
yeah.
He's half a one anyway.
Sure.
That's awesome, Tom. I did buy that game last night, just because I've been hearing a lot of great things about it.
Yeah.
And I had my Steam wallet had about that much in there, so I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and pick it up, and when I'm ready, I'll go ahead and play it.
A lot of Kickstarter backers bitching about it
How's that?
because journalists got review copies a day early, and the people that back the game are not getting it on the platform that they want right away.
Mm.
So Inti Creates released a statement about it, saying, "Hey, we're sorry. We're going to get you we're going to get it to you for the platform that you want. In the meantime, here's a free copy of the Steam version."
Yeah.
And people weren't so happy about that. I think it was really cool that Inti Creates was very upfront about it, though, and they didn't have to give out those Steam versions.
Yeah.
And regardless of what computer you have, it'll run this game.
Every computer can run that game.
So.
And I don't know. So how was it set up before? Where you backed it and you're supposed to get it at a specific date, or
specific versions. It's going to be out on just about everything.
Right.
And I don't know. People are waiting on certain versions. I don't know if it's 3DS or what, but people were waiting on specific versions.
I remember there was I might be misremembering. There was a similar dust up around Mighty Number 9.
Well, Mighty Number 9 had so many problems, but a lot of the backer incentives, people didn't get till a year after that game was out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Which is weird because Inti Creates also had a hand in that,
Mm-hmm.
but generally speaking, they make very good games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing this Ritual of the Night.
Yeah.
That game looked fun. It looked because with Castlevania, the newer ones were always more my thing. So I kind of really got into Castlevania when Symphony of the Night came out.
I think a lot of people are that way. I dig both styles.
Yeah. As far as I know, and I could be forgetting someone, but you're the only person I remember being a proponent of. I almost call it League of Shadows, Lord of Shadows.
Yeah, the first one's really good.
Yeah.
I haven't played the second one, but I hear not fantastic things about it.
Less Dracula, more Wolfman. Right?
Well, I know you can turn into rats. Because you are Dracula in that one, aren't you?
I don't know.
I think you are Dracula.
In Lord of Shadow?
In Lord of Shadow 2.
Oh, okay.
You're still Gabriel, but Gabriel, at the end...
What happens at the end of...
He changes. But...
Wait, what did he change it to? A Dracula?
Yeah.
Okay.
But... At least I believe so. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's alright. It's not a good Castlevania game. It's a good God of War game.
Yeah.
But...
So is it Castlevania in name only, would you say? Because you seem to know more about Castlevania, a lot more than I do.
I mean, very much the Lord of Shadow series as a whole is that way. What's funny is I'd say the most Castlevania Lord of Shadow game is Mirrors of Fate, and people hate that game.
What makes it the most Castlevania game?
Because it's side-scrolling, you switch between multiple characters. It is very much like Dracula's Curse, But,
Luna?
yeah.
Come back over here.
That dog's really freaking me out.
It's okay. It's just 1 week.
Yeah.
She's sick.
Yeah.
We got a baby here.
Yeah, sure.
She's not gonna break anything.
Hope so. Hope not, rather.
I hope so. I hope she breaks everything.
Well, I mean,
You got anything you want to talk about? You want to go into trivia?
I got some things going on this week.
Okay.
I also have something to add.
What's that, Shanee?
Oh, I was gonna wait for you to finish.
Add it.
Oh, I'm done. Yeah.
Oh no, that's not right.
Add it.
Do it.
My other cousin, not the one that got married, but her brother, he brought his Switch with him, and I didn't bring mine because
And he dropped it.
No, we played this like mini golf game on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Golf Story.
No, no, it's pretty
Isn't
good.
Golf Story actual golf?
Golf Story is a golf RPG.
No, we were looking at like a bunch of different ones, and I was telling him about Darkest Dungeon, and because I was telling him about Darkest Dungeon. We ended up playing that for a long time, and it's
Okay.
pretty. Yes, ma'am. Come on.
Oh my god.
Come on. Hey, over here. Sorry.
What is this, Luna? Amateur hour at the Apollo? You know the Apollo is, Shanee?
Yes.
Okay. So what were you saying? Before we were so rudely interrupted.
I know, Luna. You have manners. Just because you got a human T-shirt on doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. Apparently it does. Down. What?
It's just funny.
What, seeing me get frustrated with her?
It's funny because all of us are obviously bothered, but like, you know, we're trying to get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a dog with a donut on in the room. Like, I don't.
I feel like
I can put her in the bathroom.
I feel like that'll be worse for her.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Alright.
I mean,
We're gonna make it.
sure.
We're gonna make it.
Yeah.
So golf game.
Yeah.
Yeah, golf game.
Is it called Golf Game?
No, it's like the same company that makes like the Uno and like the Monopoly game for the Switch. But
Tell me, who is that?
I want to say it's Ubisoft, but I could be wrong.
no, because they also do the mobile games.
As a matter of fact, I know the Uno game is Ubisoft.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right,
Because
well,
there's Rabbids and Just Dance in it.
Uno Soft.
I thought the Uno one was the same one on the mobile version, but
It could be.
Well, Ubisoft has done mobile games.
Lots of them.
but I don't remember that being Ubisoft. But I mean, I'll look it up more after this. But
We'll list which one it is. So.
I shouldn't have asked.
The mobile one I played.
I shouldn't
Holy
have asked.
shit.
I shouldn't have asked.
But yeah, no. So like but it's the one where you can like create your own mini golf course.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, but it's like we made some courses.
Only golf game I've played on there is Golf Story.
What was in Golf Story?
Yeah.
Is that Ubisoft?
No. Actually, I think they're Australian, the Golf Story people.
Woulda.
Do all the characters have Australian accents?
They'll say like phrases that are not familiar to Americans.
I learned an Australian phrase the other day. Because I was Never mind. Go ahead. So tell me, what was it? Did you make a course, a good one? Did it have a windmill in it?
So there's like there's like three different, I guess like three different I guess like I want to say worlds for lack of a better term. There's like a Halloween-esque one where there's like a ghost and a pumpkin head guy and a werewolf dude. There's like a Santa one, and there's one that's called Big Room. And so we're trying to make like a Halloween one, and there's a fountain in the middle of it. And the cap for how high you can make your ramp is just enough where you can't get over this fucking fountain. And I was like, why put a fountain in the middle of this area?
Because they want you to go around it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go above it.
They don't want you to do that.
Why?
Should I have
Creator's intent.
Yeah, you gotta respect it, you know.
I guess.
I mean, you don't have to.
But you should.
Shanee does not.
She can't help it. Shanee, did you know that making video games is hard? Well, it's really hard.
It sounded like you said make video games.
That sounds like $1 million idea. You guys want to hear what I did this week?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with this. What are you doing?
I don't know, Shanee.
I was looking for her leash. Sorry.
It's okay, Shanee. We'll wait.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
This is what you have to do when you have dogs sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes when you have a dog, things happen to it.
Have you ever had a dog? You know what they are?
Yeah. You ever seen a dog before? If you have, leave a comment below.
If you've seen a dog,
Yeah.
Hit that,
Yeah.
Smash that like button.
Yeah.
smash that bell.
Yeah, smash that bell if you've seen a dog before.
Come here.
You know what I was thinking? Like, we're just gonna have this long stretch of really weird episodes for a little while.
Yeah.
Cause like Shanee was gone last week. This week the dog's here. Next week I'm gone.
Yeah.
A couple weeks after that you're gone.
Sure.
We got E3 coming up. Like it's gonna be like a month straight.
Man,
of
I
just
can't.
weird
I'm so
shows.
excited for E3, dude.
Yeah.
Are you off during E3?
Yeah, I always am because E3 is usually the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
But,
This week is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I looked up the dates.
Okay.
So I'm excited because I'm excited because those are my days off.
Well, I know they have some stuff starting Sunday, like they always do.
Yeah.
I would imagine. I don't know starting this year. Plus, we got more conferences this year. Conferences this year than we usually do.
Yeah.
The Square Enix and all that.
Tom, does it annoy when people
There we
call
go.
it Squeenix?
Yes, very much so.
Who calls it Squeenix?
A lot of
A
people.
lot of people do.
Why?
Because they're idiots.
It's
There's an R in there.
Yeah.
Squirnix. Skrillex.
Yeah, I'd rather get called Squirrelix.
All right. How much time do we have?
We have 14 minutes.
We got enough time for the trivia.
But okay.
Go, Ryan, go.
It's all right.
No, keep going. I want to hear it.
Okay. So I've been playing H1Z1 this week,
Oh, nice.
and I'm pretty gosh darn. I was gonna say good at it, but I'm not. But I have a good time with it.
Yeah. H1Z fun.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Okay, so
Well, you're playing on PlayStation?
yeah, the experience is almost identical to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, right? And I don't know why, but I don't get nervous playing this one.
Who knows?
Is there noises?
What do you mean?
Well, you say you like Fortnite because there's noises. I don't like the silence.
You
That's
did say
unfortunate.
that, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, with H1Z1, encounters seem to happen at a faster clip than in Battlegrounds.
Could be a smaller map.
Yeah.
Like an initially smaller map.
So it does. There's not a lot of, and there isn't usually enough time for the tension to ramp up to the point where I'm about to have a panic attack. And a lot of it is it's kind of really silly because they apparently what they did was they increased the number of vehicles on the map, specifically on the PlayStation version. So there's people like driving around in cars all over the place and like trying to like ram into each other and ram into me, and it's kind of it's silly in that way.
Yeah.
So I'm like this is a good time. Which is the weird thing about it though is that I played it on computer and I kind of just bounced right off of it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, different community.
Maybe.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I played it on computer for a little bit and I just kind of bounced right off it, but then I played it on PlayStation. I was playing for hours.
Yeah.
So I can't really say, but I have been having a good time with it. They just added the duos mode, so hopefully I can get a friend to play with me once in a while.
Shanee will play with you.
Will you, Shanee?
Yeah, I'll
You
be
got
your
time?
friend.
Yeah. Never mind, I'll play it by myself. Also, I want to talk briefly about. I've been playing H1Z1. I've been playing State of Decay 2 this week. Just came out.
No Mad Max?
He still bounces in there.
Yeah.
Every time I'm at his place, he's at least in Mad Max for a couple of
Yeah,
minutes.
but State of Decay 2 just came out, Shanee. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Okay, so I'm excited about it. You ever play State of Decay 1 or 2?
No. I mean, not personally. I've watched videos, but I've never played it.
So this game very much seems like a much more realized version of the original game. That is to say that as much as I liked the original game, it did have its fair number of problems and hidden penises.
Yeah, it did. A lot of hidden penises.
I
That
mean,
was such a
just-
funny story.
Just put it out in the open. Just put the penises for everyone to see.
Well, when they
I know.
remastered
I mean,
That's funny that like they're like let's bump up these textures a bit and see what it looks like, and then
Yeah.
like all of a sudden like all these penises come into view.
lay down.
If only there was video of
Lay
that.
down.
Yeah, I would. There's got to be video of it somewhere. No, that would be accessible to us, but there's probably video of it somewhere. But no, I like the game a lot, and it's actually a game that that I had been eagerly anticipating over the last, what is it? Man, it's been 5 years already since the first game came out, and it's very, very systems heavy. There's a lot of stuff to manage. It's community management sim first, open world action game second.
Can I ask you a question about it?
Yeah, ask me all.
I don't know much about H1Z1. What I know of H1Z1 has basically come from
H1Z1
you.
or State of Decay.
Or excuse me, State of Decay. Has come from you and a little bit of Twitch,
Okay.
you know?
Twitch play State of Decay.
I've seen a lot of people complaining about the Blood Plague stuff. How do you feel about it?
Complaining in what way?
One saying that, like, so I guess there's like these cores you have to go destroy.
Yeah, zombie hearts.
Yeah, so apparently
Plague hearts.
when you first deal with it, it seems like, okay, there might be something to this,
Mhm.
but once you figure out how to deal with one, you have figured out how to deal with all of them.
Mm-hmm. 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 So plague hearts are presently.
And then apparently, like, if one of your people gets, like, infected,
Yeah.
is that the right word?
Yeah. In fact,
It's like, it's not anything to worry about. Like, it's super easy to take care of.
yeah. So that is. I think that's a okay. So first of all, plague hearts, least favorite part of the game.
Yeah.
They're annoying and tedious.
But it's like one of the only new things, right?
Yeah, it's a new mechanic that they introduced that's like it's not. So here's the thing: is that plague hearts, one, they're tedious and annoying to take care of, because when you find them, so the game tells you that they're really susceptible to fire, right?
Okay.
So I happen to have a Molotov, and I was like, all right, I'll just throw this Molotov at it and be done with it. I throw the Molotov. And the amount of damage that it seems to do is not great. But then again, I don't really have a way to gauge it. Whereas every other method of attacking it, like with melee weapons or what have you,
Yeah.
like it seems like the characters even acknowledge that it's barely doing any damage.
Yeah.
So it takes forever. And like while you're attacking it,
Apparently explosives work well.
I'll have to try that.
Yeah.
But while attacking it incites blood plague zombies to attack you, like in mass. Like they just spawn.
Yeah.
Um,
Like before your eyes? Or they...
One time last night, yes, it happened.
Yeah.
Like one just.
I know there's a lot of bugs.
Before. And so those are annoying to take out. But
Yeah.
like if you hit it enough, like it releases a gas that like it puts a negative status effect on your character or whatever.
Well, you say they're annoying to take out, but apparently once you find a solution you like, it's always going to work for you.
But now with as far as the blood plague, so they had an opportunity to make it a much more bigger deal than it is.
Yeah.
Because to get rid of the blood plague, all you have to do is you need 5 blood. You need 5 blood zombie tissue samples to make the cure. Make the cure, then blood plague is gone.
Right. And as I understand, you can come across those pretty easily.
They drop fairly frequently.
Yeah.
So, and like killing a plague heart gives you like 5 at a time. So it's you know it's not. So basically, like if a character gets it, then it's not necessarily the end for them.
Right.
Now, if multiple characters get it, I can see how that would pose a problem, because you don't get the resources frequently enough to make dealing with that like a short order.
Are you close to the end game?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can't say. See, because I think so. What I can surmise is this game is procedurally generated in a way that the first game wasn't. Whereas the first game gave you like the framework of a story to play through, and later on they patched in a free mode. But
So they're having a big problem right now with endgame content, in that there is a certain thing that happens at the end of the game that will not trigger for a lot of people, like for a lot of people, unless you kill your leader survivor, like you banish them. Like apparently you can banish people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sacrifices have to be made, Tom.
But like that's not meant to be like that's not intended, you know.
The zombies were
It's
intended.
just like
here
that
and there,
happens to fix the glitch. So
Yeah.
like don't get too attached to your main person, I guess.
Yeah. But you know that being said, like I've put tens of hours into this game, and I'm really happy with it.
Yeah.
Now speaking of glitches, I actually did make the decision to kind of abandon my Mad Max quest actually.
Because of that one trophy?
Well, the whole reason I'm doing it was because of the trophy.
Yeah.
And I wanted it. But like after seeing like 6 of my friends this week, you know, like it happened to all of them. The trophy glitch happened to all of them, and I just like, you know what, I want the trophy, but I don't like.
But it happened to them like recently or like
Yeah.
when the game came out?
Like,
okay.
Within the past week, not the past 2 weeks or so. I'm just I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to. Because I want the trophy, and I don't want to put all that time into it if I'm not gonna get it. So what I'm probably gonna end up doing is going through the story one more time, because I actually like that story quite a bit, for what it is anyway, and then I'm probably just gonna be done with it. So. Also, I thought, Tom. Side note, what would you think if Russell Crowe was Max Rokitansky one time?
I would not like it at all. Not one bit.
I've been cycling through Australian actors lately. I thought about Chris Hemsworth last week for Max Rokitansky. Then I thought
I don't think it needs to be an Australian actor.
I just thought it would be fun for me to think of Australian actors for it to be.
Yeah.
And then it's probably going to be Cate Blanchett next week.
Well, you know that next movie is apparently in development hell, so.
Well, the next movie is called Rage 2, Tom.
Sure.
So. We got time for trivia, Tom?
No.
Very wary. After all the years at war, she's learned how to sleep with her eyes open.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm talking about you.
Okay, so
Trivia time.
basically what I've done is I've made a list of different DLCs and expansions.
Mm-hmm.
I'll read them to you.
Okay.
You will whisper, Ryan, if you want to answer, you will whisper the word sit. Shanee, if you want to answer, you whispered the word ubu. Okay?
You know what that's reference to?
No.
It's a production company.
Yeah.
Sit, Ubu, sit.
Because we have a dog here.
Ah,
You know?
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on.
So I give you the name of the DLC or expansion. You give me the name of the game.
Okay.
Some of these will be very easy. Some of them I think you might have trouble with.
Okay.
Number 1, Minerva's Den.
Sit.
Whisper. Ryan.
Bioshock 2.
Correct. Left Behind.
Sit.
Uh-huh.
The Last of Us.
Okay. Are you gonna get all these?
Well, so far.
Probably.
That's how it's looking.
The Signal.
Don't cry.
Actually, I'm blanking.
Do you
I
know
know. I
this?
feel like I know it.
You do know it.
Do you know it, Luna?
The Signal.
What is Luna supposed to whisper?
Good dog.
The Signal. The Signal. I don't know why I'm blanking on it, because I know what it is.
Shanee, any guesses?
Ubu.
Okay.
Alright. Splinter Cell.
No. Good guess though. It's a shot in the dark. The Signal is from Alan Wake.
That's
Undead Nightmare.
Undead Night. Oh.
You gotta say your
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You gotta buzz. You gotta use your buzzer.
Yes, Ryan.
Red Dead Redemption.
There you go.
Red Dead Redemption. So the mic can pick it up.
Point Lookout.
Stop crying.
Say it.
What do you got?
Fallout 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Not Whole Island.
I don't know that one.
That one, yeah.
Really?
No.
Oh man, I love this one. It's Fable 2. Enemy Within.
I know that one too. I just.
You guys know?
Did you hear me whisper Ubu?
I hear you go,
Did you say like you know it too?
Yeah. Like I it sounds familiar, but I cannot think of the game right now.
It's from XCOM Enemy Unknown. Ryan, I feel like you have to get this one.
Enemy Within is also subtitle for a Prince of Persia game. So that's what I was thinking of.
Thy Flesh Consumed.
What? Why do I gotta get this one?
I feel like you ought to. Okay, what you got, Shanee?
Killing Floor.
No, but so close. Real close.
Battleborn.
No.
Bloodborne.
No. It's getting colder and colder.
Why'd you guys Battleborn?
Yeah, like, how does that game pop into anyone's mind? Unless you're Randy Pitchford.
That's his magic, you know?
Thy Flesh Consumed was the last expansion for Doom.
Wow.
Yeah. Old Doom.
Sure. It's for my time, you know?
The Lost and the Damned.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Ubu.
What do we got?
Grand Theft Auto?
Which one?
Which one?
4.
Good. That was my favorite one on here. Peer Review.
I don't know that one.
Ubu.
What you got?
Tommy's Life.
God damn it, Shanee.
You can't ever just...
Portal 2.
You ever know what Portal 2 is?
Never heard of it.
Okay, listen up.
Listening.
The
Yeah.
Champion's Ballad.
Champion's Ballad.
I don't know.
Shanee should know this one.
I should?
Yeah.
Is it some kind of anime thing?
No, it's not.
No.
Shanee, what is the Champion's Ballad?
Nothing, huh?
Give her a hint, Tom.
It's recent. It's for a game I know she played, but I don't know if she played this DLC.
I did not play the DLC, but I know that it exists.
You didn't play the... You didn't play the DLC, but you don't know which game it is?
Because it sounds familiar, and it seems like one of those things that I was like looking at the game, and then it was like recommended. But I like...
There's a motorcycle in it.
What if I played the motorcycle in it?
Motorcycle's not in the main game. It's in the DLC.
Oh.
What color is the main character's hair, Tom?
Yellow.
You play any games with yellow hair? Is Goofy in it?
Final Fantasy?
Breath of the Wild.
Oh, yeah! Oh,
Yeah.
my
You remember
gosh.
that game? Remember how much you loved that game at the time?
I did love it a lot.
Okay, I want to give Shanee a chance to get this one. Okay, Ryan?
Okay. So-
Okay. Phoenix Rising, but Phoenix is spelled with an F. That's right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get this.
Gears of War.
Oh! Why would Phoenix be spelled with an F? Help me with Gears of War,
'Cause
a game I've never played.
You don't know
and
who Marcus Phoenix is?
You seen that bad boy. You worked at GameStop.
I've seen him. Have I ever seen his name spelled? No.
I feel like that's unlikely, having worked at GameStop for so long.
Yeah. All those cogs.
Yeah, you ever seen all those cogs?
I don't know. What the fuck is a cog? I mean, I know what a cog is in real life.
Sure. Well, you guys did pretty good.
How many did I get, Tom?
Wait, you're disappointed.
I'm not sure. Let's see.
You're disappointed in us. Just don't.
No, I'm not.
I don't give a good goddamn if he's disappointed.
There's only like two or three that you guys didn't get at all. Let's see, Ryan, you got 1, 2. I think Shanee got that one. 3. I think you got 3, Ryan.
3,
Maybe 4.
4.
I was really surprised you didn't get Thy Flesh Consumed.
Yeah, when you said it, I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of that's what happened with the Signal too.
Yeah.
When you put Ryan on the spot, sometimes you just
Sure.
I can't perform under pressure all the time.
Did you hate it? Was it fun?
No, I think what I do like, I like that format. I want to do another tagline trivia one though, because that was really funny.
Yeah, that was good.
I've at the time though, I knew we're
Bless
all.
you.
You okay?
Thank you. Yeah, that
Are
was
you
what I
allergic to
thought.
dogs?
I thought I was gonna sneeze again, so I was like, taking a second.
Shanee, what would you do if you realized that you were allergic to dogs?
I'd just kill myself.
Yikes.
You know what I was thinking was like, we sit so close to the camera that like one day one of us is gonna sneeze. It's gonna like splatter on the lens. And yeah, that'll be really funny.
I don't think you'll think it was funny.
Oh, I think it's hilarious. 'Cause
Yeah?
if we can see that on video, yeah. That'd be so fucking funny.
I mean, I'm a pretty polite sneezer and sneeze away from people in cameras, so
Yeah,
I feel like just me one of you two goons.
sure. But like Ryan's got nowhere to turn his head. Either he sneezes on you, me, or the camera.
Well,
You know?
hopefully he chooses you.
Yeah.
Usually,
I hope
actually,
he chooses your mouth.
usually what I end up doing when I sneeze is I
Open my jaw.
I do this number usually, and
Sure.
I sneeze unto myself.
Onto your boobs.
Yeah, but then that
Ew.
that traps the smell of the sneeze in there, and then I feel like I smell like that.
Sure.
What does sneezes?
Huh?
What
You
does sneezes smell like?
I mean,
Sneezes have a smell, for sure.
they're like very distinct, and they don't
Yeah.
smell like anything else. So I feel like you know that smell.
I feel like I've never smelled a sneeze.
Okay. Okay.
Shanae is the first person I know of who doesn't know what sneezes smell like,
Sure.
which is
Baffling.
well, I feel like that tells me that I would be inclined to think that you had never sneezed if I didn't just see you sneeze a second ago.
Welcome to the Save Continue Sneeze Cast, where we talk to you about all the sneeze news.
All the sneezes you can wheeze at.
Yeah.
If you're with me and I've never smelled a sneeze, just let us know. Go to Discord or
Yeah,
something.
smash that bell.
Smash that bell. Have you ever seen a dog? Smash that bell. You ever smelled a sneeze? Smash that bell.
Yeah. Yeah. Do that. Yeah.
Guys, I want to talk to you about something.
Uh-oh.
Is it about my dog?
Yeah, don't ever bring her here again.
I wasn't ever planning on it because she like demands attention and playtime.
She's fine. It's fine.
But she's good now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's settled down.
A little stressful at first,
sure.
but it's probably stressful for her too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just got bit. You doped her up.
Put some tubes in her.
Yeah.
I mean, she's never seen me before. Has she ever seen Tom? Has she ever seen
No.
me?
I don't know.
No, y'all have never met her.
No?
And if she's on hallucinogenic drugs, I have to imagine what we must look like.
Colors are probably more vibrant. Maybe some distortion as far as like space stuff.
I thought it entered my mind that she might be hallucinating that we look like the dog that attacked her.
Sure.
See? So, I think, okay, so Detroit came out this week.
Okay.
And so Tom and Shanae, I never known your stance on this, but we decided that we weren't gonna support that game.
Right.
I want to.
To be clear, I've got no problems with anybody who is playing it.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing too. Is well, Shanae, had you ever made a decision about the game prior to its release, or?
Prior to its release, I think I even talked about it on the show. I really wanted to play it. I
Yeah.
thought it was interesting. I really liked the concept. I like the art for it. But yeah, I'm probably not gonna play it.
Yeah. So like
You're okay.
so here's the thing: is that like I'm not gonna play it, right?
Okay.
Well, I say I'm not gonna play it. Let me amend that. I'm not gonna purchase it.
Right.
If I happen to come across a used copy at some point, then we'll see. But a lot of people have that I keep in contact with have either been playing it or like me have decided that they won't do so for their reasons.
Right.
And that's something that I notice is that you said that a moment ago you were like, I got nothing against anybody who is playing it, which neither do I. I mean, that's your thing. That's your thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a really weird thing because one thing I've been noticing around that game specifically is people trying to police other people's outrage about it, whereas such as to say like I can't believe you're gonna play that game. Like,
Okay.
I can't believe you're gonna support that company after like whatever.
I think it goes both ways though.
Yeah.
I've had people that watch the show tell me, I can't believe you're not gonna play that game.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like, I think that with video games, particular, which is the media that I consume the most often, and especially is keeping up with the industry in a way that in the previous decade of my life I hadn't quite done. Um, I become a lot more conscientious.
There you go.
I got it. Second try.
You got there.
About the games that I purchase, be it design philosophies or the culture of the developer and or publisher, much in the same way as your decision with Konami.
Sure.
So, and then I also look at the game itself, right, and like what kind of stuff that it's trying to say. So the Detroit is basically, from what I understand about the game, is trying to address some kind of robot racism.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, I have feelings about. And it's not just because of my jokey AI fucking aversion, but like it's kind of, I have feelings about it, about addressing things like that in video games and how they need to be done in a very specific and careful way. But like, I can't think of a time before now, or I can't think of a time before the thing with Konami where where people had taken a moral stance against a developer or a publisher because of their business practice or their corporate culture, and decided that they weren't going to consume their product.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's definitely happened before Konami. There were a lot of people who wouldn't play Capcom games for many, many years.
Yeah. What was that about?
Just that Capcom was releasing trash over and over and over again, and why are you going to continue to pay for it?
Yeah.
Capcom is doing much, much better these days, for sure. But last gen, I mean, what did we get from them that was really stand out besides like the Marvel games and Street Fighter?
Did Resident Evil 7 come out last year?
Last generation.
Oh, I thought you said last year.
Yeah,
sorry.
like, Resident Evil 5 people ate up, but like Lost Planet, they tried 3 times and none of those games sold very well. Dark Void was hot garbage. Like, last gen there was a lot of people that would not buy Capcom.
Yeah. So that's interesting because that is specifically about their product.
Right.
And the decision of whether or not to consume their products has been about declining quality, right?
Right.
Whereas,
which I think is natural.
Right. Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? If somebody keeps releasing a bad product, then why would you continue to give them money, right? With each iteration, it's going to be harder and harder for someone to convince you to give them your money, because you're going to be like, well, I mean, they've released like 8 bad games in a row. I don't know if I want to. But like, so that was specifically about the product that they're releasing, whereas the thing with Konami and now Quantic Dream is more about like some of the shit that they're doing behind the scenes.
Right.
Which that is kind of unheard of to me before the thing with Konami. But again, like what was
those people didn't have a face before,
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I mean, Konami, like you knew them for like, well, more contemporarily, you knew them for like the Metal Gear Solid and the. What's going on over there?
Oh, she's fine.
Okay.
But I mean, let's like specifically with Konami, but game developers and publishers in general, up until social media, like there were some super hardcore people that knew voice actors and directors and stuff.
Yeah.
But for the most part, people don't really keep up with that.
Yeah.
And Konami specifically, their old games, they would not allow credits of the developers because they were because of fear of them being poached.
Yeah.
So if you go back and play like the original Castlevania, all the names in the credits are fake.
Right.
No way, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but have you heard this? Like they like if you work at Konami, your work email address gets cycled out like every month or so.
I know that was a thing. I don't know if it's still the case or not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
To make it so that like external companies can't like contact you or whatever.
And Konami wasn't the only people doing that back in the 8-bit days. A lot of companies did that, But like, I think the reason we know more about it now is because we know these people better now than we ever have.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like a lot of the time, people seem to want to naturally so they want to keep that kind of politics out of their entertainment, and some people just want to say, hey, I don't care what they're doing over there. They're making a game that I want to play. I'm gonna play it. I don't care what's happening. I don't care what people are saying is happening. Which more power to you, I guess. But at the same time, like when I think about how much I was actually looking forward to Detroit, and I think of how much I was looking forward to Detroit and how much I did want to play it, and like relatively close to the release of the game, like I'm just like, you know what, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And I have to wonder, like,
I wonder how many people felt that way about Ian's Eyes.
well,
So many.
Yeah.
Just so many.
Well, Ian's Eyes was probably more anticipated than Detroit is a thing.
Of course.
So, I think that broke more people's hearts.
And some boundaries.
What do you mean?
You know what a video game can make someone feel.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Sorry.
So, Tom, have you ever taken a moral stance on a developer before this sort of thing happened?
Like before the whole Konami thing?
Yeah.
God, not that I can think of, no.
Yeah. Do you think that let's say
There's been like before the Konami thing there were, specific games that I wouldn't purchase.
Yeah.
For moral reasons.
Yeah.
But not against like a development team or whatever.
Like you passed on, like you were like, I'm not gonna play Hatred because of like
right.
That.
Or even like recently this week, Valve has been in some shit because they haven't pulled this game yet.
Right.
I can't remember the name of the game, but it's a SWAT team game.
Yeah.
That takes place in a school setting.
Yeah.
But you can play as the people shooting up the school.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna play that shit.
Yeah.
But
and I don't know that, and that's a whole other conversation about people doing shit just to, like, I can't imagine like because that seems to be about like making people like that sympathetic characters in these stories, which no.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Well, it's oddly enough, the same developers of that game made some Ku Klux Klan game like a few years back. So yeah.
But there was a period of time where I was just like, you know what, I don't give a shit. Let me just play the game. But like not like the older I get, the more I'm just like, you know what, like that's like what I, even if the game weren't about like the like that weird robot racism, I probably would still have like a moral objection to it, but I
don't feel like either one of us are easily offended. Like
No.
you and I have done some pretty dumb shit and
Yeah.
some pretty we've done a lot of stuff, as kids and whatnot, even as a little bit as adults that would probably offend a lot of other people.
Yeah, but I think that
But-
also, like, in that time, we've grown up to the point where, like, we could look back on on those things and be like, I'm not gonna.
Right,
I'm not gonna do
sure, but like,
Um,
I think it takes a lot for me to not play a game.
Yeah. So when it comes to you not playing a game, right? Is it what is like? So we saw. Okay, so with the case of Hatred, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it have to be like tasteless on that kind of level to stop you?
Well, what's funny with Hatred is like, okay, you're killing people. We do that in a fuck ton of video games.
Right.
Right? But with Hatred specifically, like the main character of that game is basically, I mean, maybe this is reductive, I don't know on which part, but he's basically like trench coat mafia type dude. Like,
Yeah.
very,
And I think I
very,
don't.
I'm going to go kill these people for no other reason than I want to kill these people.
Yeah,
And,
I
like,
don't think that.
and you're not killing other people with guns or weapons, you're killing just civilians for no reason, which, yes, you can do that in GTA,
Yeah.
but it's a choice and it's not a story-driven thing. It's not
Yeah.
like, hey, this is what you're supposed to do,
Right.
go kill these innocent people.
Right.
And
I don't think that your perspective on that game is unique to you.
Yeah.
I think that's shared by a lot of people.
yeah, no, Hatred was a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, that was all over the games media for a while.
Yeah.
But,
And-
is so funny because this, school shooting thing, I've seen one outlet cover it,
I remember God, it must have been over a decade ago now. Someone made a like a Columbine simulator in RPG Maker, I think.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, MV is hard to police, right? Because like people throw those games up on like itch.io.
yeah, you can.
You know.
Yeah.
But
They don't have to pass like through any sort of rating or certification or anything. You
Yeah.
know? So, you all right?
yeah, the game is called Active Shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I've not played it. I could be completely off, but from the article, it sounds like hot garbage.
Right.
Yeah.
Shanee, do you have any games that, like, your moral
Oh,
compass?
excuse me. The other game that they developed is White Power Pure Voltage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any games that your moral compass will steer you away from?
It was hatred, right? That's based off like school shooting as well.
Not based off school shootings, but it invokes that same feeling, killing innocent people for no other reason than you want to kill innocent people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a Columbine like game.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Somebody made a Columbine game in like RPG Maker at some point.
Yeah.
Like this was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, like the itch.io games and stuff like that, and MV and stuff like that. It's like, I don't really count that. Like, yeah, sure, there's probably an audience for that stuff.
Sure.
But like, even the best RPG Maker games are not selling, and they're
Yeah.
you know they're not like available. I mean, yes, Steam does sell some RPG Maker games, but very very few.
Yeah. Shay, do you have a moral aversion to playing Detroit, or is it just what is stopping you?
Moral and just also financial. I just had to pay some expensive vet bills.
Well, I mean, if money were of no object.
Then yeah, I probably still wouldn't play because it would just feel icky giving money
Yeah.
or supporting a project. Yeah.
See, and for me, it doesn't even feel icky, right? Like, people have talked shit about David Cage for so long,
A really
right?
long time.
And nothing has ever been proven. Even in this situation, they're one of these companies who's like, you're lying, we're going to sue you.
Yeah.
You know, which good on them if that is the case,
Yeah.
right? But like, it's like we've talked about with all this, like the Me Too movement and all that stuff. Like, okay, maybe Quantic Dreams has done nothing wrong here. Maybe David Cage has done nothing wrong here. We don't know, right? We don't have evidence going either way. But I choose to side with the potential victims. You know.
Yeah, but and also, I think that like David Cage's reaction to the accusations kind of they didn't sound like it didn't sound like the reaction of somebody who like wasn't like not a shitty person, you know. But again, I've never met David Cage, but it just I don't know. Typically, typically when people react to accusations like that, like in that manner, there tends to be quite a bit to it.
Yeah. I don't necessarily disagree.
But like, and now like I'm
Okay.
even with my decision not to play Detroit, right? And even if the stuff about Quantic Dream never came out, and they were highlighted to be like a great company to work for, or whatever, right? Just hear like when I hear about when I'm hearing the or like reading the story beats of that game and like kind of the stuff that it tackles.
That stuff doesn't bother me at all.
It will personally it like just really putting me off.
Yeah.
And like, and I
think that games need to approach that.
Well, I think it's not that I don't think that they need to, because they definitely should, but I think that also like and I almost want to play this game just so I can further validate this, but it sounds like because the game addresses I'm calling it robot racism because I don't have another term to use. It addresses robot racism against like actual racism. And it seems almost like
Luna, why are you crying so much?
she's got a donut on her neck, man.
She does have a donut. I think she wants Jasper's food and his poop. Oh, is that what you wanted?
Jesus.
Thanks, Shanee.
For what? Bringing a dog?
Yeah, it's been a real treat.
And on that note, we're gonna take a break.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Once you ask if
I
you
think
cheated.
that's the fact that I had done it at all was enough.
So Ryan, as
But
far
it-
as Detroit robot racism,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I can't say because I haven't played the game, right? But like, I think it's more trying to touch on things like Her touched on, or Ex Machina, or things of that nature.
Like, what is it? What is it to be human?
Right.
Which maybe. And if I think that if, and again, I will not purchase the game, but if, well, not new anyway, but if I do come into contact with the game through other means, then,
Stealing it.
I mean, hey man, it's not stealing if you don't get caught, know what I mean?
Sure.
Then then, you know, I'll be able to look at it through a more objective lens, I think.
Right.
And not really, because I think that my point of view will still be subjective to some extent.
All I'm saying is like, don't judge the context of it if having not played it yet.
Yeah, and I intend to withhold other judgment on it until I do so.
Lay down.
And you're right. I think that game should talk about like issues like that.
Well, it's like I don't remember if it was Paris Games Week or if it was a PSX, but they showed the Detroit, the Kara trailer with the abusive dad.
Stay.
And they showed the Last of Us 2 trailer with the hammer to the lady's arm. And, like, people were super offended by both of those. And I'm like, okay, if this was a book or a movie or whatever, like, this would not be coming up at all.
Yeah. Well.
And it sucks, like, I figured games were already to that point.
Well, I think that,
But-
we
Yeah,
talked.
because even young adult books have some
Yeah, but it seems like the vast majority of people who don't typically play games found that shit to be totally offensive for
Well,
video games.
I think we talked about it before. Is that video games are under increased scrutiny because it's interactive.
Yeah, you're doing those things.
Yeah, you are the dad, but
Yeah.
well, and
You're not.
I think that you are the dad in the same way that Mass Effect is a sex and murder simulator.
Right.
And that is to say that like that perspective is shared by people who don't play video games. But yeah, and I can understand how the content of either of those things could be upsetting to someone, but at the same time, I think that I think it's also really dismissive to condemn those pieces of media based on that solely. Yeah, I don't know. I remember I showed the Kara trailer to a friend of mine, and she found that trailer to be especially upsetting, but specifically because she had been in a situation like that before.
Yeah.
So.
And things like with this active shooter game, right? Like, I don't think like you can't make a video game that involves a school shooting.
Yeah.
I think you absolutely can, and you can do it tastefully.
But you'd have to be
But,
really
like,
careful.
Yeah, maybe don't let you play as the shooter.
Yeah.
And maybe don't release it
Lay down.
around the time of all this shit going on,
Yeah.
right? It's like when Hardline came out. That's probably the worst selling Battlefield game.
Yeah.
I would have to imagine it is.
Yeah.
And it sold very poorly because people weren't wanting to play as police officers that year.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think it's also the same reason why in World War II shooters you don't play any part of the campaign as a Nazi.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like when the Medal of Honor revamp came out.
Oh yeah.
Opposing force.
Yeah. Not
Taliban.
Not Taliban.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it is important for a game to tackle social issues like that, because I think that, and for a lot of people, that is one of the only ways that they will be able to be informed of that sort of thing. But like, don't trivialize it, or don't and like.
And also don't glorify like that. I mean, like, people say that video games glorify violence, which I don't really think so. But I think that I think that they're like the active shooting one, like where you're playing as a shooter, you are like glorifying killing innocent
Yeah,
people.
same thing with Hatred. And Hatred has sold decently well
And
based off of the controversy.
It's
know?
like if you pull up Hatred on Steam, I think it's got a mostly positive rating.
Mm-hmm.
Which we've talked about how Steam reviews don't mean a whole lot, but at the same time, I think it says more that like whether you're serious, excuse me, whether you seriously think that of the game or not, that people are in the mindset to just give it a positive rating anyway. But then you talk about.
But what I'm saying is like that game wouldn't have sold on its mechanics.
No.
You know, it sold because it was controversial.
Yeah. Like I think that you know. Game
like Dead or Alive Extreme 3 I think is the most imported game, you know.
Yeah, well, like gameplay mechanics aside, I think that Mafia 3 handled racism in a pretty it was in a way that wasn't like trivial or jokey or you know or dismissive, you know. But then you have other games that would tackle that would very easily tackle that subject matter in a very heavy-handed and not very nuanced way, which I think that's something that is really hard to pull off. Like you know, like putting something like that in a narrative without it coming off as like coming off as a gimmick or a trope or coming off as you know tone deaf is really difficult to do.
Mm-hmm.
And in a lot of the time.
I mean, Far Cry 5 continues to be the best-selling game of this year.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know Nintendo's digital sales.
That's true. We do not.
Those Labo digital sales.
Hey, Labo at number 4, when people were like, oh, this isn't selling because it's still on shelves, like, okay, obviously it sold extremely well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're just not used to Nintendo not doing a fake shortage.
Yeah.
It's still on shelves because it's selling. Like okay, so Watch Dogs 2, it handles like a bunch of social issues, right? But it doesn't ever like focus on that thing for so long that it's like that it doesn't make sense.
Well, sure, and I don't think they can because nobody wants to play Watch Dogs 2 and take it super seriously.
Right.
You know.
But like for example, like they Watch Dogs 2 does address Silicon Valley's diversity problem. Like, I think I've talked to you about this before, where Marcus and his friend go to fake Google, and like they get off the bus, and then like Marcus looks around, Marcus being the main character of Watch Dogs 2, Marcus looks around and like sees all these white dudes walking around, and he's like, dude, no one here looks like us.
Yeah.
And then they you know that moment happens, and then they move on to the next story beat. Whereas it could have been really easy for them to like drop the ball on that and like make it like a whole weird thing. And I think that a lot of that stuff is a lot of writing about a lot of these things. It's kind of hard sometimes if you're doing it from a second hand perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't know what that's like, then it's really easy for you to get it wrong when you're making it part of your narrative.
Sure, and I'm not sure which Ubisoft division developed that game.
Yeah.
But I imagine it's proper. Either way, like they've got a heavy presence in Silicon Valley. They've got a heavy presence in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure they know what that area is like and what that industry is like.
Yeah.
You know.
As someone who like everything that I know about how they represented San Francisco is based on what I know from people who live in San Francisco, because I've never been to San Francisco.
Right.
So, apparently it's a faithful representation, I guess. But tackling things like that stuff does have a place in video games. It's just, again, it's easy for it to be wrong, and sometimes it can be kind of offensive. I've played. There are other games that I was playing and having a decent time with, and then they would do something like that in like the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I just be like, you know what? Can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't continue. There was a game recently that like you were playing and dipped out of, or decided that you weren't going to play at all, and I can't remember what it was.
Well, I mean, I played a good bit of the Shadow Warrior remake.
That's right. That's what it was. That's what
But
it was.
I think as a half Asian man, I don't think any self-respecting Asian person would want to play that game.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, it's funny because like I had brought up that game and like, dude, the game is like.
It's a fun game.
It's like
very fun.
Yeah, but I was like, at the same time, I'm like, dude, this game is mad racist.
Yeah.
Because the main character is voiced by the main character being a Chinese man, and he's
named Lo Wang.
Lo Wang, and he's voiced by a white dude doing what he thinks Chinese people sound like.
Yeah.
And it's like really bad. It's like. It's really bad, and to the point where it's funny because like the thing about it is, and everything that I've read about either of those recent Shadow Warrior games, and everything that I've read, like I can't recall the time when anybody has made mention of that.
Right.
And I think that it definitely should be. I think it's something that should definitely be brought up and should also be something that developers are discouraged from doing in the future.
Sure.
Hey, cut the shit.
And it's
Grab
but yeah.
No, we're having a serious conversation here.
But yeah, that game is outwardly racist.
Yeah.
And seems to be okay with. And you mentioned to me
Super fun though. Maybe just play it muted or something. I don't know.
I mean, because like if you haven't played it, like just look at video or something. Because I'm not gonna do the voice. It's fucking ridiculous. But because I remember you showed me the first game, and I was like. And I remember thinking like, Tom's game is.
Yeah.
I was like, Tom's game's kind of racist.
Mm-hmm. Well, part of me was like, because if you played the original Shadow Warrior,
yeah,
which I believe was a 3D Realms game,
yeah,
that's what was coming out at that time.
Yeah.
You know, in the 90s, wasn't odd to see something like that. You know, and you probably would have had a great time with it back then. Yeah. You know, but like I think now.
Luna?
As people are not only getting like, I guess we're more aware and try to be more, we try to be better, yeah. Times have changed.
Yeah.
Like
people are more apt to call that sort of thing out.
Right.
And I was going to say, like, I don't think a game like that could come out and no one said anything, but Shadow Warrior 2 just came out like a year and a half ago, so, who knows?
People like it.
Like if you, I would encourage playing that game on mute or turning the voice off if you can do that. Because it just the game is like riddled with like World War II era like Asian caricatures, and it's really weird.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like I feel like Mortal Kombat has been doing that for a long time.
Yeah. Yes and no. I mean. Here's the thing, right? If you think about like the early Mortal Kombat games and some of the Asian characters in that game, even going back to the first game, a lot of those characters are played by Asian people, and while they are doing like outlandish Bruce Lee-esque voices, I don't think that that's out of context for that game. Sure. You know. I think as a Western developer of a game like with that context at the time in the 90s, I think they did a phenomenal job being as...
It could have been worse.
It could have been way worse.
Yeah.
There are certain things...
It could have been Shadow Warrior.
Like Mortal Kombat 9 is worse with the whole Striker Jax thing that we discovered,
What?
Oh, right. So, it's laughable because I'm just like,
and I don't think it was intentional by any means.
But like it would just really okay.
But
so
if you there's two characters. Jax is a strong black man, and Stryker is a white police officer. And if you play them together, Stryker says this regardless of whoever he's playing. But it looks really bad when he's playing against Jax because he comes out and what's he say? He's like,
he says police brutality coming up.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Like verbatim, that is what he says.
Yeah.
And like he says it with a smile on his face.
Yeah. But like, I don't think that was intentional. I don't think that there was any, I don't know.
I just think that you probably shouldn't make light of police brutality in any context.
Sure, but like MK9 at that point, yes, obviously there was troubles with the police, but
Yeah, but they,
nowhere like they would not put that in Mortal Kombat 10 when that game released. There's no way that line would have made it in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I do think timing has something to do with it when
Yeah.
you release a game.
in fact, Striker's not even a playable character in 10. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that, and I think that there are kind of two schools of thought where it was like some people say that keep this shit out of my games, like don't bring serious shit into my video games, right?
Yeah.
But it's funny because those are also the same people who like want video games to be taken more seriously, whereas I'm all about it, give me those themes in my video games, just don't be an asshole about it.
That's like people complain about Disney going back and changing the voices of the crows in Dumbo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I liked Dumbo as a kid, but yeah, totally take the racist out of this,
Yeah.
like take it out of this movie. Why not?
Yeah.
And
Because it's my Dumbo, and I don't want it to change.
If these crows offend you, you need a history lesson.
Sure.
Oh my gosh.
You need to take her out.
Luna, you need a history lesson. I just took her out.
You need,
No,
like-
she wants the cat food because Tommy said that if she ate it, she'd turn into a cat, and she wants to play with Jasper.
Sure.
Let her play with Jasper.
You don't want that.
No, now she got tubes on her.
Yeah.
Get her tubes tied.
Come on, back over here. Back where you belong. By my
Sure.
side. Oh, she's fine.
Okay.
She's being a big brat.
Well, she's injured, so.
Yeah, maybe go easy on
Luna,
her.
how do you feel about the racist crows in Dumbo?
All right, Shanee, come on.
But you know what I mean? Like, and now we're getting to the point where we could eventually start seeing patches of that sort.
Yeah. Well, I think that if you're willing
But-
to like go back to Mass Effect 3, right? If you're willing to patch in a new ending because people didn't like it, then imagine if enough people are like, that shit's really racist.
Right, that didn't fly.
You know.
If a developer or publisher is so inclined, they could go fix that.
Yeah.
Which, before, is not possible.
Yeah. Old racist games stay racist because you can't do anything with them.
Right.
Sit. Lay
But I think that
Stay.
especially now that people are a lot more people are becoming more socially aware. I think you should be smart. I think that as a developer releasing like a AAA title, I think you should be at least from a business standpoint, you should be smart enough not to, knowingly put shit like that in your games, and
Sure.
and it's not as like it might be because of the games that I play, but like I don't see it that often.
Yeah.
I see there's some stuff that I see in Japanese developed games that are like it's some I've been very vocal about how I feel black people are represented in a lot of Japanese games, but like as far as Western developers, I don't see it that often, but when I do see it, it's really out there.
Well, what's funny is I feel like the Japanese just put out what they want to put out for the
Yeah.
most part.
Yeah.
With Western developers and publishers, I feel like over the last year, we've seen it used strategically going both ways.
Mhm.
And I don't know how I feel about it. Like we've seen, like with Bethesda, with Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah.
At first they were like, oh yeah, this isn't a social commentary on anything. We're just trying to make a fun game.
Yeah.
And then when it started making
Romance.
headlines,
Then
they
they
were
were
like, oh yeah, of
Fuck
course,
Nazis.
yeah. And then we saw it again with Far Cry. Whereas Far Cry is obviously more about Waco than anything else. People were like, oh yeah, no, it's a commentary on where the U.S. is at this point in time. Well, no, it's a commentary on where Waco, Texas was.
It seems
You
weird
know,
to not
it's-
it seems weird on Bethesda's part to not already immediately agree yeah, we're anti-Nazis.
Right.
It seems weird to wait until after the game gets
But you see
positive
what I mean?
traction
Like, it benefited both of those games, unintentionally so, and
Yeah.
both publishers just went with it.
yeah.
I don't know how. I mean, you want to sell your game. I get that.
Sure.
But at the same time, Wolfenstein, I think, could have sold on its own without any of that.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein, the original Wolfenstein, was not selling because of that.
Yeah.
You know, Far Cry games, while they have sold based off of controversy in the past, I don't think anybody takes a Far Cry game seriously.
No.
You
Well,
know?
well, that was the weird thing about Far Cry 5, right? It was that, excuse me, there was a heavy emphasis on it supposed to be apparently being a more serious story, but they still came out with what is still a very ridiculous game.
Yeah.
Like, for better or for worse, is, you know, very over the top and
Yeah.
had a lot of like silly shit in it, but it's using that as like using controversy as a marketing tool. Like, for example, like that goes back to saying like there's no such thing as bad publicity, right?
Right.
And everybody says controversy sells, which it does.
Yeah. Wolfenstein 2 sold better than the first one, right?
Yeah.
Far Cry 5 is still the best-selling game this year.
Yeah. It was funny to see Wolfenstein 2's marketing campaign being. I've many times I saw controversial anti-Nazi ad campaign in like the same sentence, and I was like, what's controversial about anti-Nazis?
Right.
But yeah, you're right though. Like that whole like doubling back and saying, oh yeah, totally, we were all about that. We didn't want to come out and say that.
Right.
But you know, we were like that.
Well, even if it's not something controversial, right? Like we've seen the whole thing with Housemarque, who like I'm so disappointed in them. I love Housemarque games, I do, but like nobody told them to come out and say arcade gaming was dead.
Yeah.
They decided to do that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Luna.
And then now they're like, oh, it's not. We were wrong. It's like, well, nobody said it but you.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? You know, like, I don't know.
Well, like, they came out and said it and then didn't say anything afterwards.
And it seems, I mean, at least to me, it seems pretty obvious that their next game will be a Battle Royale game.
Yeah.
But, I mean, who knows?
Come on.
I wonder how many of those we're going to get.
Oh, tons of them.
Before the bottom drops out.
Yeah. It won't drop out. It'll just become the norm. It'll just become like any other genre.
The new deathmatch.
Right. Well, it's like we talk about Horde mode. You know, people are like, oh yeah, Horde mode was invented with Gears of War. It's like, well, maybe by name it was, but like Horde mode, like Galaga is Horde mode.
Yeah.
You know. So.
I heard some conversation coming up earlier this week about the origin of deathmatch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the word deathmatch, we get that from Doom, right?
Yeah.
But like, there were other games where it's you against everybody else way before Doom.
Yeah. At least deathmatch in the context of video games. Anyway.
Yeah.
Luna hates Doom.
Sure.
It terrifies her.
Which is really anti-American of her.
It is.
Anyway, we should wrap it up, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should. Because,
Some of us gotta get to work.
no, I'm calling in today.
Are you?
No.
Damn it.
Oh.
I
Tom
feel,
was so excited.
I feel like it. I'm tired as heck, but
Remember you said they owe you one. Remember that?
I got them to acknowledge that they owe me one, and
There you
I get a floating holiday for Memorial Day too.
There you go. So.
Nice.
What am I gonna use that for?
Anyways, guys, before the camera gets knocked over, we love you and we'll see you next time.
Love you.
Goodbye.
Bye.